Hey everyone, I am in possession of something I rarely have, is a quiet, empty house. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's kind of walk you step by step through a painting. So because the house is empty and no one else is home, I can do this and not be interrupted or whatever. Because I work in the hallway of my house, this is what it looks like. It's a busy place. So it's quiet and yeah, let's paint. I thought it'd be fun to show you how I start and eventually we'll finish a painting. So let me show you what I have for my paints. Start each painting with three colors. I will do a real light. Let me just show you on my canvas. This is a kind of a cool icy bluish white. So just you can see it's pretty light, but I like to not have white. This is a pot. It's one of the sample ones that you can get at the home improvement store, and it's not whatever it was, but I will just add white and whatever else to it. So that's my first color. The other color I like to use is kind of a neutral. So this is a little more of a warm color, and I mixed it with this kind of a minty, this is just a premix that I've thrown together in a tube that I keep down here. So I've mixed those together and that's this one. So I have my light, whitish, kind of my neutral, and this is same situation. I will just add to, I will add to it and mix around, so it's never really the same color. So I have those two, and then I always start with a real dark. And so today I'm going to use, this is a burnt sienna. I take my paints, I buy the Heavy Body paints, and I mix them in here. I use a little bit of water, or you could use like a fluid medium to get them to the right consistency so that I can just do this and squeeze it out. It's just so much faster. So that's a burnt sienna and then a phthalo blue. And I always, just because colors vary from brand to brand, I just label whatever it is. So I know for next time if I like it, I can keep using it. So I'm gonna mix those up, and that's not right. I'm gonna mix those up and then we'll get to painting. I start with those colors because I don't always start with these exact colors, but I start with a dark and a light and kind of a mid, because that's just how I start. I feel like it's really important to start dark, make sure I have some darks established. If I start with midtones in paintings, it's hard to get away from that. I'll add mid values in later, but I want to really, especially because I start on a white canvas, I really want some good juicy darks. So this is all mixed up. You can see that's what that looks like. So those are the three, and then I'll add in some other colors just for fun. Sometimes I'll do orange. I really like cadmium orange right now, but I picked up this really bright neon pink. I don't know why. I was at Michael's and I saw it and was like, ooh, that's fun. So I'm gonna actually probably do a little bit of that as well. So that's what this looks like. I mean, ooh, it's loud, but in the right quantity. So, and even looking, I like how those work together. So we're gonna just get started with those three. So I'll set my camera up and I'm just gonna show you how I go getting started. Okay, so here we go. So when I start, I don't really have a plan. I kind of just determine that as I go. And but what I do want to do when I first begin is just get big areas of color down. So I have my dirty water. I don't know, when I start, I'm okay with dirty water because I really want like the neutrals. So I'm just gonna work on big fields of color. And we'll just see where we go. So I kind of think about my canvas in quadrants, like an area, you know, 4. I don't ever do that. I'm just doing this so you can see it. I kind of divide it into 4 zones mentally so I can think about getting something different and interesting into each zone. Kind of like working really loose and wet to begin with because I don't want it to build up lots of heavy layers right now. It gets too thick and I don't like that. So I just, you know, think about, well, I just want like something in each area with each color. So it's juice, you know, get it loose and kind of juicy, wet, but not too much, you know. So this is I like this good neutral base, and you know, I'm okay with whatever dripping happens or whatever. It makes it, we're just getting it going, and you know, it's like a warm up. So there's some neutral. I've got a variety of things in each area. Now I'm going to come in with my really dark, and I try not to use the same brush throughout because I want a variety of marks. So, you know, and I'm not even thinking about, I'm just thinking about, well, okay, I did a long stripe there, so maybe something smaller. When I'm like really thinking about it, if I'm on a canvas, I'll come up around and get the edges. And so that's they're kind of similar. So if like this is a different mark, right? So we'll do that. And you know, I don't know. I like the thought of like bringing it all through the canvas. So we have a variety of marks and a variety, you know, it kind of gets transparent, which I like. Okay, I accidentally made a little splatter there, which I like. So I'm gonna get things kind of really wet so I can do that again. You might not see this at the end. You might, I don't know. I liked it, so we'll do that. The trick is to not just do it all that way because I liked it. You know, I'm gonna want to be mixing it up and whatnot. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. And then my next thought is, okay, so let's add in some of that real bright pink. So I'm gonna get just a real fine brush. And I like to use these long ones because I'll just hold it at the very end and stand as far back as I can. I'm off camera, I know, but you can see what I'm painting. I am like as far back as I can go. And this just causes me to be loose. And what I'm noticing right away is that when this pink mixes with that phthalo blue, I'm getting purple. I don't like that. Purple's not my favorite. So I'm gonna make sure that I don't do that again. But I can kind of, you know, just, I don't know, I'm not really thinking much about it. I'm just doing whatever. But I know I don't want purple. I don't love purple. I mean, I'll paint with it occasionally, but it's not my favorite. So, you know, I'm just gonna make some marks. Not really caring what goes on other than I care that if I make purple, I don't want that. But all I'm caring about, like, normally when I do this, I've got music on or a podcast or something that I can focus on mentally, so I'm not even really giving this much thought. Okay, so now I'm looking at this and I notice, okay, I've got like some interesting lines here. I have this nice field, like a, you know, a little more precise thing of pink. So and I only have that in one spot, so I'm gonna get some pink and I'm gonna choke up on the brush just so I can be a little more precision right here. And we'll just do that. I don't know, it's kind of fun. Again, no thoughts here, just putting colors down. Wondering what happens if I mix the pink with that neutral, and it's kind of nice. This might not be a very pink painting when we're done, but it might. Mixed it with that phthalo blue again, which is not my favorite. So what I'll start to do as I paint so that my colors are unified, you know, I have this neutral-ish, you know, mushroomy green. I have the pink. If I mix those together, they're really harmonized, right? And I like that. I want my colors to be a little unified. So now that I've got this, what I'm gonna do, just to see what it looks like, I'm gonna take my dark and I'm gonna mix it on my palette with that neutral mushroomy color, and we're gonna, so we've got definitely, it's still kind of dark, but we're definitely moving now towards a mid value. But it's unified because it's these two colors blended. So I try to, on my palette, as I'm painting, even just the tiniest bit of each color gets mixed in so that it is unified, so that we've got kind of a, it goes. I don't want it to be shocking to your eyes when it's like garish and they don't blend, you know, like a toddler toy where all the colors are just really vibrant and primary, which is fine if that's what you're going for. I don't particularly want to go for that, so that's why. Now I haven't added any of my light, my lightest light, and that's fine. I'll get to that. Right now I'm just getting some fields of color and being aware of where there's wet paint so that I don't just mix it all up and make it, you know, muddy, kind of boring. So, I don't know, we're just gonna stop there. I don't need to fill the whole thing up yet, but what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna grab some pastels and do some line work. So my pastels are over here. I use the Rembrandt oil pastels, and I think I'm trying to think of what could be a good complement to that really bright pink with that blue. And so I'm just gonna try a couple colors. This is a little stub of like a yellow ochre. And so yeah, I don't hate that. So I'm gonna just make some lines. And it kind of reacts, it's an oil pastel, so it will react with the wet, you know, and if I were to take a wet brush, you know, it would do that, which is totally fine. I'm just doing that to show you. So I think about where I can make some interesting marks. Again, this is really just under layers, and most of this will probably not show in the end. So this is how I start, and I'm at a point where I feel like I need to just stop and let things dry so that I'm not gonna make a muddy mess. So I'm gonna stop and I'll use the hairdryer, and then I'll come back and go from there.